is there a gap? Why is pop music so much more accessible than jazz music? What is it about pop? It's the simplicity.
Yeah.
And there is you have to appreciate that's what people like at least what we pick up past it, right? And hey, I think jazz for the audience I've been playing music, I've been playing jazz, I love it. But you know, I also appreciate the fact that there is that gap between what you perceive as and what you play. If you, for example, you play some really cool jazz thing and the drummer and bass player really tight with you and you move everything, it sounds, imagine it sounds really, really nice. But there's only a few people who are going to be like, ooh, that was cool. Who will come back to say, hey, you know, let's do more of that. But then you hear lyrics about, I don't know, your boyfriend breaking up with you, but Taylor Swift singing the song. And next thing you know, boom, it just speaks to millions, right? First of all, because there's fandom about her. And second, the songs get to that point. The songs have to say something to the audience, right? Why do songs about drinking get so much attention? Why do songs like the Black Eyed Peas put out, what's that, I Got a Feeling? Oh, that's such a hit. First, it was catchy. And second, people who, they played it in clubs. It's a song about partying, played at a club where everyone's partying. So the meaning of like the purpose of the song, the groove, everything fits together so well for the environment that it's being played in, right? Why did Happy click on so fast versus Catchy, right? Second, there's a movie. Third, it's like a simple song, right? That's the whole group. There's nothing much else going on. It's just that Pharrell found the exact right thing to put in the exact right place.
Yeah.
And if jazz music was more simple, perhaps it would be a lot more appreciated. But fortunately, that's just the way it has become.
It reminds me of mathematics, you know?
For the audience, they're doing right because you might think a jazz musician, well, I need to buy a house, I need to make money, I'm going to just make a simple song and make money. It's not as simple as that, right?
No, of course not. No. Yeah. It's an art form, right?
They are following their audience also, what their audience wants, for what the audience wants.
Yeah. But will there be enough of an audience
for jazz?
For jazz in 50 years?
Well, I don't know if it's always been declining. Now I think it's in a steady state.
It's hard to know.
Look at blues. Blues is much better than it was 10 or 15 years ago now.
It's hard to say. I can't say that.
No, but the blues musicians said this, the Gerben Wasser or whatever. So when he says that when he was young, he needed to run blues workshops in the US, etc. Just to educate young kids about what blues were, because otherwise people wouldn't even know. It was like a survival strategy. And now it's not even necessary anymore because people know. So there was like a revival of guitar-based music, and maybe with guitar band and those kind of things. And the vintage movement, you know.
Hopefully education keeps it alive, but at the end of the day,
yes,
there will be, yeah, it has to go somewhere. Yeah, and
it's a bit limited by technology in a sense.
Actually, it is. The whole thing is about educating people, getting music out there to listen, you know.
Yeah, but now you're sounding like, but now you're sounding like the frustrated jazz musician. They exactly have this thought. All the jazz musicians, you know, people don't understand, they're too dumb, they're not educated. I've heard this so many times from jazz musicians, man. But I think they cannot forget, it's entertainment. All music at the end of the time is entertainment. So if you don't give what customers want, it's not the customer's fault, it's your fault.
I'm not saying that it's people that it's not wrong that they don't understand. You can't fault somebody for not knowing something, right? Ignorance is a problem, but you cannot fault somebody for not knowing, right?
Well, you can, but
being uneducated and being uninformed versus not. See, oftentimes you don't know what you don't know, right? If you've never heard of somebody, you can't know everything, right?
Yeah, but there's a moral judgment you can make on somebody who votes for Brexit because they're afraid of immigrants and they've never lived in the middle of any immigrant community, and those are the ones that vote against immigration. While those in big cities see immigrants every day, so these people are not dangerous, and they're not known for Brexit.
Can you blame them that's just the way they like it. If I have if I have
I
never
blind those guys. That's the difference, I think, because that's a different kind of choice from music. Music is entertainment at the end of the day.
But the thing is, would you want
You can
education to
also-
fix it?
I wouldn't fix it, but keep it alive.
Because I mean, like, who's gonna determine like what music is worthwhile to educate?
Each individual educator, unfortunately.
That's what I mean, and that's again a consumer. So like the problem, you get what I mean? Like even the educator will.
At some point, it'll come down to what people want to choose.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Even like the educator, for the educator, it comes down to what does the educator choose to educate. So the problem persists, right?
Yeah. The thing is, maybe starting out as like a life of musician was a lot easier 60 years ago. Because maybe even 50 years. Imagine starting out in the 70s or 80s, like when Michael Jackson, people had the platform to create music and stand out and make a living out of it and see the fame come through, right? Because that kind of music was a lot more prevalent. Now who is the next big money makers who have already started making money a lot? It's the DJs, the people who put music in the computers. Electronic music is on going up. Like some of it is really, really cool.
This goes through cycles, man. Sometimes the electronic music, soon enough, there will be an old technology, something else comes up, right?
Then why?
Like every time, you can look at the history of music as the history of technology. You can do that too, right? From a purely technical sense, right? I mean, until the 19th century, well, until, let's go slowly back in time. Before the electric guitars, you cannot have rock music, you cannot have much of blues, etc. You could have blues, but those acoustic kind of old style music.
To be fair,
You
the
keep
blues
going
is
down.
the blues is something that you kind of you have to exclude it from this how do you say system of thought because of where it came from. It started out in the South, right, in near Georgia and all these kind of places. But blues was never about the guitar. Blues was never
No, you
about.
were singing.
It was vocal. It's sound, right? It's about the lyrics.
No, I
more
know,
than
but I
anything.
meant rock blues. Like, you cannot have both rock and jazz derive from blues. And so you cannot have a lot of the things you see here is dependent on the technology, right? Before you have sax, before you have bass, before you have this, you cannot have that. So a lot of music. And then when these become electric, you can have the Beatles, well, the Shadows, and then the Beatles, and then you can have more like heavier rock bands once the distortions come in, and etc. All of that you can see from a point of view of technology. When a new technology appears, a new kind of music appears that follows that technology.
But see, then the old things go out of fashion.
Do they?
Yeah, think about what happened when the piano was invented. What was the big shit of keyboard before metalwork was proficient enough to invent to produce a piano made from metal strings?
Well, but it
The harpsichord.
evolved slow before you had the harp. Well, you had the Kraftwerk,
Well-tempered clavier.
clavier, exactly.
See, before people accepted that the square root of 2 existed.
Right.
Before that happened,
But see, much after that was invented, you still had new music appearing on that instrument that already
very
existed.
little bit. Where do you see harpsichord music nowadays? Where do you see it? You might go to a
But you see
church.
new piano music.
Yeah, I was gonna say like.
Piano music is not outdated yet. Piano is still relevant. What happened to
But
the
how
harpsichord?
do you define outdated then?
No, but
Is
that's
there new
just
music? Is there new stuff coming out with the harpsichord?
maybe you can.
But like
Do I want to though? Will that appeal to
Yeah, it
anyone?
might be just
anyone?
that the piano is more efficient instrument
Yeah,
now, right?
exactly. So when MIDI becomes so good
No, but
that
that's
it
not
can
true
produce.
of DJs and computer music relative to bands.
If you hear some of the instrument sounds on the computers nowadays, the bass sounds are incredible.
No, the sounds are okay, but the band, it's not as easy for you to play, right?
Hey, some electronic music produced is it sounds like it's better perform than live musicians. It is incredible what computers can do nowadays. If you pay the money for the software, if you pay money for the sample tracks, oh my god. Listen, Jill Scott, for example, we listen to some of the tracks. You can't tell. It's either there's a robot kind of bass player who is just on the money all the damn time,
Right.
or it's a computer.
Just program the thing and then
And
if
it
there's a
sounds
sample there.
incredible. Ba-dum, dum, dum, dum,
Right.
ba, ba-dum.
Yeah.
It is fantastic.
Right, but
There
my
will
point is
come a
not
time-
about the human touch. My point is about the because that's human. Those samples where somebody
Somebody
recorded.
has to do it. But once it's there, it's there.
Yeah, once they're there, but although it's going to sound exactly the same every time, maybe you have some small variations within the sample itself. You're going to lose the human touch. But I don't find that human touch is super important.
Right,
What
yeah.
I do claim is that for composition, it's still much easier to get four people together than tell the computer make up something, right?
But that's what composers are for, right?
Yeah, but
That's what
you still need
that's
a
what engineers
composer.
are for.
But you still need the composers. They're not
So
absolutely.
what happens to live musicians then?
No, but my point is, look, you have those DJ, but you still have new guitar-based bands coming up, right?
Will we?
Like the Arctic Monkeys,
How can-
whatever.
how can you-
Let me put this this way. What is, from a technology point of view, what are the Arctic Monkeys doing that could not be done in the second?
Write the music. Write the music.
Only the composition, the
Yeah.
technology is
What else?
exactly the same.
And what else can the computer do now? You can.
You still can't do that. Write a good composition by itself.
If you consider even an electric keyboard, okay, how does the electric piano get the sound on that? They sample the sound of a grand piano. They put a microphone.
But
Then
but somebody needs to do the composition. Still,
right. So the
computer
composers are not
cannot-
going nowhere.
Maybe you can think a world in the future where computers can analyze our brain. They know so much about our brain, what we like as humans, that they can like back engineer that and make music in order for people to like because they know what parts of your brain to touch, right? To stimulate.
At which point in time, we all have to be computer scientists if we want to survive. But until that
Even the
time comes,
musicians. But that's a new strand of music for you, right? Computer science music.
the thing about
Back
it is,
engineering brains.
if it's unsure whether or not you will have a place as a live musician in a couple years' time, unless of course you are already at a huge level, a very high level, and when that time comes.
But look, man, compared with other jobs that the robots are about to take over now, you know, of the next 10 years, musicians
Yes,
still
no,
way
see,
in the
I have
future.
time. I know for sure I have time. What about my kid? What about my grandkids? It's a wonderful thing.
If you were a taxi driver, I would worry that self-driving Ubers will take your job, right?
Yeah, well.
But many jobs up there, they are in big risk of disappearing in the next 10 years, not musicians.
I'm not worried about musician job history. I'm worried about whether or not it will be. I don't know why I'm saying I'm worried. I'm not actually worried. I'm just wondering what will happen. See, for example, before they accepted the square root of 2 into existence, what happened? Pythagoras' clan used to throw people off boats for it, thinking that irrational numbers existed, right? It was not allowed. Like they had their little 10-digit. There was
Outside the rules.
It was outside the rules. Like basic small prime numbers were the
Negative
foundation of
numbers.
the Negative numbers, okay.
No, back in the day, it was
Oh no, not negative numbers.
Yeah.
It was 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. All these basic prime numbers was everything for them. Without the square root of 2, we would not have any keyboard
Yeah.
because the octaves wouldn't match up. The way they used to do in the past is they would have 5 over 8, 3 over 2 times the length of the pipe. For example, you have a pipe length unit 1. You want to get a fifth below it. You just increase that length by 1.5, 3 over 2. So you get from a C to a G. To go to a D, what do you get? D is 1/5. 1.5 times of this. Wrong.
I
It's the
don't
other
know
way
the
around.
physics of
It's the other way
this at
around.
all.
You have length 1. You do this, and then you divide it by 1.5. You get the G above. Divide 1.5. You get the D. 1.5. You get A. And if you do that, you get all 12 notes in a cycle. But that means you have the frequency difference between one note and its octave above. It's exactly